everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Wanda.
Tiffany.
I'm Ron.
Hey.
All right, and this week we are back to talk about SnowFall. This is season 4, episode 9, titled Sleeping Dogs. So if you guys hang tight, we'll be right back with you.
Louisiana where the last one burnt you, know that ain't cool. Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him, swear that's the truth. So you can't trust that I won't.
All right, we are back, and like I said, we're talking SnowFall. This is the last episode before the finale. Sad to see it go. Man, this has been a good season. And this episode in particular, a lot of deaths.
It was lit. It was so lit.
It was. I hate to keep saying this, but I think this was the best episode yet, at least for me.
At least for this season, for sure.
At least for the season. You know, some people got their comeuppance, which I'm very happy about. You know, we're still on the hunt for a few more, but you know, I just, and oh my God, and I know we'll get to it, but Franklin took a beat down, man. He deserved my respect after that beat.
I was about to say, I appreciated his heart in that situation.
Well, he said, I'm gonna make sure that when I gotta go back to your sister and to your wife, I got something to tell them that I tried to stop you. And
I
so
tried everything.
he said, I'm gonna give you everything I got. You know, you're gonna have to almost kill me so I can tell that story when I go back. Because other than that, I can't explain why you died.
Exactly.
And
And I'm
that's
glad.
what
Yeah, I'm glad they kind of got that out their system, because there have been a lot of tension between Jerome and Franklin building up, and they needed to get that out.
I agree.
Jerome, definitely.
Yeah, Jerome's ready to set it off for real.
Yeah, he was. Don't mess with his Louis.
It's just too bad Franklin had to be the punching bag, but you know.
But it could have only been him. And
right.
At that point of it, he was so angry that he had no logic to any of his anger. Franklin said, you're walking right into a booby trap. You're going to go down there and you're going to get killed. There's no way you're going to get down there and stop them. And so, you know, he thought about it. He put a little bit of strategy to it. I think the way that they kind of trapped Manboy, I saw that coming, because I said, there's no way he's going to wait under a tunnel or a bridge and think that Franklin's going to just show up. So I thought it was dope that they, you know, that they thought that through. And they, you know, this episode is the one, if you've seen trending, a lot of people have been saying now that this show is better than The Wire. And so that's the argument on the net right now, because everybody's kind of like, whoa, chill, but no, I gotta say,
abort.
With it. I said, look, if it wasn't for The Wire, you couldn't have it.
Exactly.
But SnowFall's taking it to the next level. The Wire wasn't there.
Oh, it is. This show is definitely dope. The writing is dope. I love it. It has become a favorite for me and everything. I said, but stop it. Stop it, The Wire comparison. Even Damson said after this season, don't compare us to nobody. He had a video that I sent y'all.
Right, and I think they each all
they're in the class.
Did y'all catch it? Did y'all catch any of the social media chatter over the Power and SnowFall?
Yes, I live tweeted. So I saw a lot of that, and
I love Power. I thought Power Book 1 was dope. I watched it faithfully. I watched from beginning to end. But the writing, and no offense to anybody, but the writing is just not as clever on Power as it is on SnowFall. SnowFall, they go like 10 different layers on each character. I mean, the CIA is 10 layers. Then you got Franklin's like 10 layers. Then you got all of his side people. Listen, I'm being honest with you.
No, you're right.
SnowFall is like best on TV right now to me.
But the thing is, we got to stop comparing a BMW with a Volkswagen. I mean, a Volkswagen's a nice car. And and that's what you can afford, that's what you buy. A BMW is a nice car, better car. And if that's what you can afford, that's what you buy. I don't think the comparison is necessary, because they're both good shows. It's just that.
I think it's just the subject matter. Since it's all drug shows, they're trying to compare them. Really,
it's not necessary. Like Issa, we rooting for everybody black.
Exactly.
And, you know, and plus I think with SnowFall too, I mean, you can't help it being tight with having like Walter Mosley as an executive producer. Like, you know, man, he's a monster by himself. So to have the writing team and Walter Mosley and everything, and the talent they have on SnowFall,
And not to mention,
Yeah.
go ahead,
I was going to say, then I think to your point about the writing is that once you watch the show, things happen as they should. They're not necessarily always predictable, but once you watch, you say that's exactly what should have happened.
Exactly, just like Jay just mentioned with that meeting under the tunnel situation, it could have played out exactly as they said, meeting under the tunnel, but the fact that they didn't made me like, oh, this was like on point this week. I was like, okay.
And they
Well,
waited
it
until
wasn't
they waited until
predictable.
she stabbed him with the knife before they even, like, they didn't get involved for the first, like, 2 minutes of that fight. Literally, she could have died. I guess they said they would take their chances with that because she jigged him with the knife and he was getting ready to get that gun. I thought he might have shot her.
But
And
did
they
you
waited
see the
until
size?
the last moment.
Did you see the size of that knife? I mean, when she punctured that knife into his side, I mean, it was all he could do just to keep moving, because that was a huge knife. But what I also wanted to say about SnowFall is, there's a lot of history, even though it's a fictional program, there's some history behind it. And when you have that kind of history, and what you're really doing is just merging fiction with nonfiction, and you're bringing those two things together, and that's what makes, I think, the writing much more flavorful for us, because anybody that's been around long enough knows about what really happened. We heard bits and pieces, we've read bits and pieces, and now what SnowFall has done was taken that reality, or rather I should say that the actuality, and made it a television reality so that we could actually see it. So even though it's not true, SnowFall, but it's true enough. It's right on that ledge where you can say, oh, that's how it happened. Because in all probability, that is how it probably happened.
They took every barbershop conversation and followed the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that the way we used to talk conspiracy theories at the barbershop about the CIA moving drugs in the community and what came of that, they just took that and wrote that into the story. And I thought that they did it in a way, like you said, that it almost feels like autobiographical. It doesn't come across like they're just like weaving a soap opera together, which is what you get out of a lot of storylines. They really took it and they said, start making this feel like it's really happening. And if you look at the character of Reed, what he's doing, like he's just on a whole nother level. He's like, we gonna square off all things. He said, we tying up all loose ends. And I see that's gonna be a real good ending. I think this
Well, isn't that CIA though? Like,
That's CIA. Yeah, they don't
that's
leave.
how they roll.
They
That's
leave
how they
no
roll.
stone
That's
unturned.
why I was surprised. And that's why I was surprised that Irene and she bought that, because I was like, they are trained liars and assassins. And goes to our point, Ron, what Jay and I was saying last week about why Alton should not have spoken to the press like that. This week exactly just reiterated.
And they took it to the next level
about
this week by going on the radio. And so I'm like, y'all really done messed up now.
And I told them last week, y'all. I told them last week, I said, y'all thought that because Reed did that she was gonna stop. I told y'all she wasn't gonna stop.
So we knew that.
At least I thought she wasn't gonna stop, but I just thought the way that she did it was stupid. I mean, look, first of all, you knew when you went on the radio, he was coming for you. I knew he was coming.
So you might as well drop his name.
Yeah, I mean, he put the needle in her last week and said, look, if you're smart, you'll wake up from this one, but you're not gonna wake up from the next one. Me alone, I'd have been packing bags as soon as I got up in the morning.
Well, first of all, look, do you honestly think that if I'm in a bar with Reed, that I'm gonna let Reed make my drink for me or go get my drink?
She was watching him with the Hawkeyes though, but I agree, I would not even chance it.
Well, that's how we knew she was a lush.
I would have said, what are you drinking? I'm paying.
I'm good.
Her faculties were not there, because I was just like, no, a CIA agent, when they can put anything in your drink, like what? Like that's why I said, okay, she is lit already, because
she's done.
Her faculties are not there.
No, I mean the man drugged you once before. Why wouldn't you think he'd try and drug you again? It just didn't make sense. You were drugged once by him. How could you trust him? I wouldn't trust him any farther than I could throw him. So if he was going for a drink, you damn sure I would have been right next to him, saying, yeah, that's what I want right there. Mm-hmm. You're not bringing me anything that I can't.
But going back to Jason's point, for both her and Alton, they know really what they're dealing with, and they know the level that the CIA would go to. So if she's going to go on the radio station, she should have viewed it as her one opportunity to really tell her story and to just go ahead and lay it all out there, right? Because she should have known she's not going to get another opportunity because she's up in the ante. So I'm like, okay, if you're going to make that choice, just go ahead, tell the whole story, name all the names, do it all. Yeah, that was it.
I wouldn't have named anybody personally, but if you were, like you said, if you're going to go to the radio station, you might as well say, I'm marked for death. Yeah. I'm here to tell my story. You might as well go out Malcolm X style. At that point, you already know that they're going to probably kill you if you say anything. Who thinks that they're going to muscle the CIA? I'm going to go to the radio and I'm going to muscle the CIA. That doesn't even make any sense. Even, especially in the 70s, 80s, I mean, the 60s, you already knew. By the time you got to the 70s, you're kind of stupid if you did it. But the 80s, it's kind of idiot to you.
Yeah. Well, I gotta agree with you on the on the aspect of when she was on the radio. To me, she should have just named everybody. Because you're going to die. He already warned you. So just put it out there. Just put it out there. Names everything. Read what he's done. Because you got to kill him just like he's going to kill you. You know you're going to die. I don't know how she thought otherwise. And as a news reporter, she should have known.
The second they left that bar.
Done.
The second they left that bar, I knew something was about to come for her.
Yeah.
It was like, it's inevitable at this point.
And that drug was nice.
First, I knew she was in trouble. You can see something coming from somebody driving off first. I said, once he drove off, I said, there's no way he drove off that easy and it went that smooth. I said, she's dead. She's dead. I said, it's a matter of what he's going to do it. Yep. And then when she passed out, I wasn't sure if he drugged her or whether she just drank too much. Did they ever really explain that?
Yeah, he drugged her.
Okay. That's what
because she was very attentive at first and she just out of nowhere fell asleep.
Yeah, just knocked
right. But she was lit though. She was drunk. She was drunk too.
But I think she just had that drink. I think he put something in her.
He had to have, because I don't think that's the first time. I mean, think about it this way.
Was lit too.
Think about it this way. That's not the first time she's gone to a bar, and probably not the first time she went to a bar and got drunk either. So the way she fell over in the car, that was whatever it was slow acting. It was, of course, Reed didn't want her to, fall over while in the bar. So whatever it was slow acting just enough to get her out driving and just knock right out.
Yeah. And he just
he said, I'll send you in a cab. And he knew she wouldn't trust the cab idea,
right?
Whatever that was. And so he knew she would drive at that point. I think she was just dumb about the way she handled her whole, if you want to talk about the only storyline, and I'm like, why would you do that? She's the only character along those lines where I was just confused.
Because her ambition gets in the way of her sensibility.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And then what you would say, Tiff? Oh, I was gonna say the next person I'm really worried for is Alton, because you seen how Reed walked up on Franklin at the end and was like, what are we gonna do about your dad? So I was like, it might be lights out for Alton next week.
Oh, it ain't no Mike. It ain't no Mike.
I got something.
He should have been gone.
I got something personal against Sissy. This is the second time your son has truly disrespected your husband, whom you've taken back. And what she should have said while in the hospital, look, she should have stepped up. She should have said something on his behalf. Franklin is Franklin. He thinks the way he thinks, and it may not have deterred him. It may not change his mind, but twice you let your son disrespect his father. And I got a big issue with that. She did nothing the first time. It did nothing.
You know what? I agreed with you, Ron. When I saw that and she stood there and stuff, and I was like, well, maybe she's scared of Franklin now because he's become somebody that she doesn't recognize.
She can't control him unless she does certain things. So you got to understand this. There's nothing she could do for Alton. Alton did a stupid move. And she said, look, I got to detach myself from your blunder. You know what I'm saying? She said, I got to just let you kind of blow on the breeze on this one. You could tell her she still had compassion for him. He's stupid. What he was supposed to do that day was get on the plane and go to Cuba just like he was instructed. He wanted to play the martyr, and she's like, look, I can't play the martyr with you. She was trying to get away. She's trying to set up a place elsewhere. She was probably going to take him with her or whatever. But Alton is stubborn. Alton is stupid. He put himself in harm's way for no reason. He should have never put to the reporter. He should have left once he realized that the heat was on. And at this point, it looks like Franklin's getting ready from the previews anyway, that he's going to take the same stance he took with Leon. And I kind of think it's a mistake.
I don't think, you know what? I think that's a twist. I think the opposite. I think he might let Alton think that he gonna go to it. I think something is telling me that he and Reed have planned this, because he got to make it look a certain way to Sissy, because that is her husband. That is her dad. I mean, his dad. I think he and Reed is concocting this, and they're going to make it seem like they going to war and stuff. And I think at the end of the day, Franklin going to be the one to take him out.
You know what, though? If you seen the way Alton looked when he seen that Irene had died, he knows, like, okay, I got to be next. So I think he's going to try to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And so Franklin might not even have a chance to act. He really might just skip town. But he told Sissy he wasn't going to go. But he should have been on the way to the airport.
But the one thing
he should have been gone.
But the one thing, I don't think he will ever harm his mother. I know Sissy knows that, and Franklin knows that. He's not going to harm his mom, and I know Sissy knows that. That's why I said she could have stepped up. I'm not saying smack him in the face or do anything violent, but she could have, because they hugged, they embraced. So there's some love there, and as long as there is, she should have stepped up.
When he said that's no longer your job and all this stuff, I'd have been like, hold on. This is my husband. I know you know what he did. I don't agree with whatever, but this is still. I think that she should have said something too. Even though I agree with you, Jay, he wrong and everything like that. But I'm just saying, as his wife, like, son, stay in your lane. You don't get to tell my hubby.
But this is not right and wrong, though. What we're talking about is different. Right and wrong is if he went to Scully and did something stupid. Right and wrong is if he did something with Leon or something. We're talking about the CIA. There is no beating this team. You don't have the team to beat these people. The best thing he could have did was told his father what he did, which you get the hell out of here. I think that he was trying in his own way to say, look, you got to go. You can't stay around us. And he had to break it because these people were being stubborn. Remember when he came to the room and he said, y'all need to hide. Remember a few episodes ago, and they said, we're not going anywhere.
Right.
These are some stubborn ass people.
They're not dealing with reality.
They're not dealing with reality. You can't beat the government. I understand if you're talking about another set of drug dealers, you could pack up and go to New York, and another set of drug dealers are not going to necessarily come to New York and find you. The CIA, you can go to Spain. They'll take a trip to find you because it's about the information getting back out. They're not just about you running. They're like, you cannot be on Earth if you know this kind of information.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. But if you heard what Sissy said to Jerome, I think that we talked about Sissy previously and how her stance has changed. And I kind of got that confirmed with that conversation she had with Jerome this week, where she was saying, like, now I understand why you did what you did. It's not necessarily about what Franklin saw that you had. It's about what he saw that I didn't have. And that motivated him. And she was like, it's less about the money and more so about the respect. And so now I think she sees where Franklin is coming from, where it's like, I mean, this is a dirty game. And if you're going to be outing us and putting us at risk like that, you got to get what's coming to you. And so it's just like, you got to respect the consequences that come with that kind of action. And I think that's where Sissy is at right now.
Well, a lot of people had consequences for their actions in this episode.
I was about to say, because one person that we first opened the episode with Tanosse, and she was getting confronted by Franklin, and so she was facing her consequences this week of backstabbing him. But I felt bad for her because she's really in a lose-lose situation between Manboy and Franklin.
Another dummy. That's another dummy of the week. I can't feel bad for.
You should have told him. She should have told.
She should have told him,
No,
but
she
also
should've
just
just
what you were saying.
told
Like
him.
some people are scared of Franklin
No,
now.
I
Like,
you know
No,
what?
she
Day
put
one.
herself in harm's way from the beginning. I can't feel bad for people that make stupid decisions. The dude, Manboy came out with money. He said, I want you to set Franklin up. She could have easily went to Franklin right then and said, yo, this is what the drill is. She thought she was gonna pay him back.
True.
You know what this guy, his name in the streets is deep. This is not, we're not talking about Franklin, a saint of the first season. You're talking about season 3 saint. He was already kind of a monster. And I'm like, if you know that this guy's a monster, you know who he is, you're gonna take money and go right into the devil's, pit just to try to pay this guy back for some love scorn.
Well, did she get the money first, or did he threaten her brother first?
That's right.
No, she got the money first. She said he showed her the money.
Well, no, it was 2 things.
Okay, because I was thinking he threatened her brother first.
It was 2 things. He showed her the money.
If she's telling the truth.
Right. She showed her, if she's telling the truth, he showed her the money and he threatened her brother. And remember, he had her brother.
That was later on.
No, but she had her brother. She had her brother beaten.
He showed me money and gave me more options than I thought. And once I was in, she said, once I was in with him, he showed me the stick. And she said they beat my brother down and they threatened him in jail. That was later on.
Yeah.
So that was after she had decided that she wasn't messing. She said, I'm not going to do it because I realized I have feelings for you still.
Right.
And when I went back to him, he threatened my brother. They ended up beating him up in jail and then he threatened me.
Why then?
So that was later on.
But if it was just about the money, why would he then have a reason to threaten her brother unless she was trying to make it, or unless she was making that decision to not go along with it and he had to do something more.
That's
drastic.
what she said.
No, right. I'm saying the trick. You're missing the order of it when it happened. I'm saying initially he came through and said, we got money for you. We're gonna set you and your brother up. We're gonna take care of your brother while he's in jail, and we're gonna give you this money. And then after she went and had feelings for Franklin, she went back and told him, I'm not messing with you. I'm not going to do it. Right. Then they got to threatening her brother and beat him up.
Okay.
Then they told her that they were going to kill him and her.
Okay.
And I'm saying that she had already put herself in harm's way doing something stupid. I can't cry for idiots. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right.
I got my timeline mixed up, so I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I do think that she did. I agree with you, Jay. She did put herself in harm's way. But I do think that she
But how do you say no? But how would you say no? I mean, even if you decide not to take the money,
you should have told him, and he would have taken care.
That I agree. I think day 2, she should have gone to Franklin and told Franklin, "Hey, look, this is what's up. This is what Manboy wants me to do," and let Franklin decide how to handle it.
He could have protected her brother.
I think he could have. Whether she knew that or not, I don't know. But I think he could have. Franklin has a long reach. So he could have very well been able to protect her brother. The other thing I wanted to mention.
This is what he told her.
Does anybody see that Scully has found religion or something? Because he's not the Scully.
He been to that as soon as his daughter died.
Well,
yeah, I
think Scully can turn up. He's about to lose his religion. Because absolutely. Now he was, he found religion after he lost baby girl, but now to lose baby girl and the baby mom and stuff, I think going into season 5, that's what they're gonna have to worry about. Besides the CIA crap and everything, Scully is gonna go off.
And that's what Khadijah said. She was like, if it was me, would you have that kind of same response? Would you be as forgiving? And we're about to see, nope, he would not.
That's what I'm saying. It's foreshadowing. That was foreshadowing. When she said it, I was like, yeah. He about to turn up.
They gave her a shot too. They gave her a shot too, but they gave her an opportunity. Leon really did not want to kill her. He wanted her to live.
Didn't.
No, he was broken up.
Yep.
Happy that he got the chance to at least apologize before she checked out, because that was a sincere accident. Like nobody knew that baby was in the car. So
right.
But she should have been in the car.
No, she shouldn't have been.
Right.
She shouldn't have been in the car.
Let's start there.
No, she shouldn't have been in the car. And I know one of the things, speaking of power, and Courtney Kemp said on one of her lives that she said that when they decide to kill a character off, she makes the character by their death, like by their actions and stuff. And I was like, Khadijah bought her death by saying, running her mouth, and stuff. And Manboy did too. Both of them, brother and sister, both of them popping off. You know, when they shouldn't be. Because she said, oh, I'm gonna hunt you. Da 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 da. Jerome was like, enough of this. Jerome was on one. Let me say that Jerome, Franklin, and Leon, mainly Jerome and Franklin, they came through like the Olympic dream team.
Jerome is turning into the enforcer. He is not playing games.
Yeah, well, and in fact, that's who needs to be the enforcer, because Jerome will bring it, and he will bring it hard. And we saw that. He's not playing. Jerome's not playing. Leon is getting, I don't know. Leon has he has some demons that he's still dealing with, and I don't know.
He's remorseful about what he did.
Yeah,
and sometimes even Franklin has like that little tinge of like remorse sometimes that stops him. But what I was going to say about that was with Jerome, he's kind of an OG, so he's familiar with the game. He knows what comes along with it, and he's prepared to act. And so I just think that having that OG on your side to deal with to be like the strong arm, he's intimidating physically too.
Yeah.
I mean, Franklin and Jerome, they still look like teenagers. So you need that OG.
I still wonder if Jerome's gonna make it out the season though.
Man, they cannot kill Jerome.
Jay, you and I are here. That's my prediction. Because I was
still wondering.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he won't. I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Listen, this is my prediction. When I saw how this went down, I said, okay, the Black Diamond and whatever the chick's name, I was like, when Scully goes off, he knows Khadijah got the call from them that they had Leon. So Scully knows that's who set that up.
Right.
He gonna run up on them chicks to find out what happened to Khadijah. He might kill them, torture them, and find out who pulled the trigger.
Right.
Jerome was the one that pulled the trigger. I think he gonna like. I think
he don't care who pulled the trigger because he already got it out for that whole crew.
Right.
The whole crew, but him especially because he was the one that pulled the trigger.
I'm telling you, Jerome seems marked. I don't know why I feel like that. I just feel like his character is marked. I think that he had the biggest letdown this season, meaning that he was the one that like had to face reality, and he was really like you said, in a way, he's kind of foreshadowing where he's at, because he fell apart when they went to, what was it, Arkansas, when they went, wherever they went to the South. And like he kind of like he told Louise, like, you know, you bring these people hell. He said, you're bringing these people hell. And then when he came back and he kind of found out about the CIA angle, he's been kind of spiraling since then. He's been just kind of winding down. I'm not saying he's going to die, but I'm just saying I don't see where his character goes from here, because he can't comfortably go back to just selling. Like everybody else can go back to selling. I don't see that for him. I see that that's going to be difficult for him to just take that and run and just accept that the CIA is running things, and to accept what they're doing in the community, because he just seems disheartened. He seems like he's just, you know, he's got this thing for drugs. He's got this thing for Franklin. He's got this thing for the CIA situation. It's just, I don't see how he comes back from that.
Well, I think after he beat down Franklin,
take him out.
I think after he beat down Franklin, it seemed to me that he had a little more respect for Franklin. I noticed that, like, while in the hospital, Franklin gave an order as to what they were going to do. He just looked at Franklin, but it seemed like I don't see Jerome crossing Franklin. If I were to see it go down, I would think that Franklin and Jerome would be killed at the same time. I don't see Jerome leaving.
I don't know.
Pardon? What are you saying?
I was gonna say, but remember Manboy's last words. He said at the end, they all gonna turn on you.
Yeah, and that's what those other two young ladies, you know, you can't trust them. I don't know. You can't trust them at all. You know, I understand Franklin.
And to bring Wanda back in.
Oh, you definitely can't.
Wanda done already crossed you
several times, and to have that group in, I'm sorry, you can't trust them at all.
Oh, they might get rid of them. I mean, speaking of Wanda, it was funny because I was live tweeting, and when Wanda went to the club and everything, some of Black Twitter was going off. They're like, "Oh, yeah, Wanda," and I was like, "Y'all be cool." I said, "I really think this is a setup." I said, "She does love Leon. She loves Leon. She took a bullet for him." I was like, "That." I said, "This is a setup." And I was like, y'all jumping off the, they jumping out the window already. I was like, calm down.
I thought that was obvious. So I thought everybody knew it was a setup for that part.
No, some of Black Twitter, there was some people that was with it and that was hip, knew what was going on. But a lot of Black Twitter was like, damn, Wanda, and yeah, they were going on. And I was like, nah, y'all need to be cool. I think she's playing a role.
Yeah, it appeared that way, but I still don't trust Wanda. I can't trust her. I don't trust any of those three. No, I'm sorry. They gotta go. They're on my list.
It's hard to trust a crackhead. I mean,
they're on my list.
She's reformed crackhead, but
gotta
she's
go.
still a crackhead.
But to your point, everyone has a reason to turn on Franklin now for their own self-preservation. Leon is still upset about Kevin. He's upset about the way that he's been. And now he's going to be upset about this with Khadijah because he feels so guilty about the child. He's going to feel like we should at least gave her the opportunity. Whether it was, we all know that she was going to keep going, right?
Yeah.
Well, she said she was. And that's what sealed it for Jerome.
Yep. Yeah. And I think Leon still thinks that whether he pulled the trigger or not, like that her blood is still on my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly. And then, Jerome, I think out of all of them, he's a realist. So it could be, I'm not going to say he's suicidal, but I think he can come to the conclusion that, hey, if it's my time, it's my time. And he's going to act that way no matter what happens, where I think Franklin and everybody else are trying to make these decisions on how to survive and how to stay on top of the game. I think Jerome is too real for that. I think he's going to come to the conclusion that at some point he's going to have to face his karma or sacrifice himself for either Louis or any of them.
I was about to say, when they went over there, when they were getting ready to go to Manboy's before Franklin stopped, and he was like, Franklin was saying, they gonna light you up. They expecting you. And he was like, so be it.
Yeah.
Well, he's a true soldier. I mean, Marines will hit a hill knowing that it's suicide. But those are the orders, and that's what they do. So, Jerome's a true soldier, and I respect that in him, but what can you do?
I like his character, but I think he's a little hard-headed, and I think that his character is way more local, meaning he didn't want to be a major player in the drug game. What he was looking to do was make a few dollars, open up his little speaker spot, and go buy a crib and get the hell out the game. And I think that that's what Franklin's mother was saying to him when she was like, look, I know, the way you came up, and I saw, you wanted to do some things. She's like basically saying, I know you didn't mean to let it get to this point. That's what I took from what she was saying to him. She said Franklin was on something else. Franklin was looking at what they didn't have, whereas he was just trying to get some things. And like I said, when they went to Arkansas or whatever, you could see he wanted to pull out of the game. He's like, what's there left for you to get out of this? He was out of it. And I don't think that, like I said, his character can go on. It's almost like slavery for him to stay in the game right now.
But
So what do you guys? Go ahead, Luana.
I think that even among the people who are dealing in these drugs, to your point, he made the decision that he was only selling weed, and like they said, who dies from that? It's a recreational drug that people usually use to relax, right? To take some of the stress off, and it's kind of almost like him knowing what he was doing, but not really being able to make a full decision because he didn't know all what was involved. And I think that's a lot for you to involve them with the government in this clandestine operation that's getting all these people killed here and abroad, right? Yep. And it's just deeper than that. So
and plus, nobody knew what crack was. Crack was supposed to be being introduced at that point.
Yeah, there's no way that at that point in time they could have seen how harmful that was going to be to the community. Right. Because you think about its original form, cocaine, like it wasn't having people, necessarily abandoning their whole families and lifestyles over the cocaine, but the crack was so much more addictive that it really destroyed people's lives. Yeah. So I can see how they couldn't have seen that coming. I was going to mention though, because Reed paid a visit to Avi this week, as he was, he told Oso and everything, they were tying up their loose ends, but he also went to Avi, and Avi was kind of saying, this doesn't have to be the end of the line. There are other ways to still be involved.
Well, he offered him a job too. So, he offered him a job. He says, because I see your job has come to an end. So, your gig has come to an end. So you might need another job. And, Reed didn't necessarily turn it down. He said, I'll get back with you.
Well, he was already acting on the.
Say again?
He was
You said
already
what?
acting unofficially, so he was on the side of the law anyway, really.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's still committed to the mission because he went through with getting rid of Irene. He took the tape recorder stuff. He took the evidence, so he's still protecting the CIA.
But you heard what he
Yeah.
said. He said, this is something I built. He said, if you listen to what he's saying, even though he was telling her he got fired, but he's like, look, I love this. I do this because I love it. I'm not just doing this. And I've sacrificed. So he's like, I lost my brother for this. I lost a lot of different things along the line. He's like, I'm not giving that up for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I worry about Reed, because he's so rogue and so like overzealous for this mission.
But
I feel like Reed might get himself killed.
Eventually, Reed is going to go.
well,
Eventually, like
Reed is the devil, because as far as I'm concerned, you knew what you were doing from the very beginning. You were bringing this stuff into the Black community. You didn't care how many Black people were being killed by this drug, and you kept doing it. So he had no love for the Black community at all, and he had more love for what he was doing than the harm that he was creating by bringing these drugs into our community, into the California South Side community in the first place. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever happens to Reed, is cool by me. He's another one on my cut list.
He's become a liability, right? Because it was no way that this information was supposed to get out. So.
Now, so what do you think about his boss though? Because his boss kind of seemed like, he was trying to take over the mission, and Reed was holding it so like close to the chest, like he wasn't trying to give up any information. But at what point did they say like enough is enough? Like, we don't want you, we're gonna take you out.
Well, Reed's got to be smart, because they'll take him out too. Look, CIA cares not.
I think that's coming.
Oh yeah, he's marked.
I think that's coming. I think that's why they were trying to get the information, because he is expendable, and that's why Reed is keeping it close to the vest, because that's his leverage.
Yeah.
Well, it was his leverage. I don't know about now. It's like his days are number 2.
Yeah, he's marked. He's a marked man.
He told Franklin that. He said everyone's expendable. So we'll see if his words come back to haunt him.
So I know we touched on a little bit of predictions, but what do you guys foresee for the finale? How do you think we're gonna land?
Scully's coming back hard. I think Scully's coming back hard. I think Reed's on Franklin's neck about Alton. And I think that Jerome, like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Jerome doesn't make it with us into season 5.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see all of that.
Even though I don't like it, I think Alton, he gets cut. He goes down.
What you mean you don't like it? Alton put himself in that predicament.
I still don't like it. I think he's going.
No, I hear you. I know what Alton was trying to do. He's a revolutionary, and I get it. But you got to be strategic, and he was not.
Yeah.
Nope. They say you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Like I said, he put himself in that position.
I still don't like it, but he's gone.
I'm an optimist. He makes it to Cuba, but I just
he might have made it if he would have gone.
Had he
gone.
Had he
gone. Like if he had just rolled and I came to the hospital to check on Sissy, I think he should have been out sooner. Like,
and that's Castro's Cuba.
I think
Castro's Cuba, you can survive the CIA in Castro's Cuba. You have a shot.
I think soon as Franklin clocked him, right after he clocked him, he should have rolled.
I'm saying that he should have been gone. So I don't know. We've seen anyone can go. They're up in the ante. The stakes are very high, and Scully's mine. So that means, you hope Sissy is safe, because there used to be this honor. We don't do, we don't kill the mothers, the wives, and the children. But with Khadijah being gone, Sissy's a target, Louis a target, everyone is, so
Leon too, because all of this was over Leon. He ain't saying
I think Leon might either bail out. Leon might either bail out and get missing, or like you said, something could happen to him too. Leon or Jerome are my 2 picks for who might get it, in the next episode. So either or.
I think it would, if I took my guess, if I took my guess, it would be Leon over Jerome. I think you want to carry Jerome over to the next season.
I was about to say, I don't think there's going to be any deaths next week for some reason because
Nah,
we had so
somebody
many
gotta
this
go.
episode.
That's true.
Somebody
Too.
We
gotta
had
go.
so
They did
many
too
deaths
much
this
killing.
episode.
They did too much killing. They did too much killing. I can't. It would be wild if they did all of that killing and everybody lived. Wouldn't that be
No,
crazy?
I'm not saying they're going to live permanent. I just don't think it's going to come as soon as we think it's going to come. I feel like they're going to leave us on a cliffhanger for the last
Yeah.
episode.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
We'll see.
All
I
right.
think somebody gets it. Like I
I
said,
don't think
Jerome-
Alton will be in season
Leon,
5.
come on.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be in season
I was about to
5.
say, season 5, he might check out maybe the first couple of episodes. I don't see him leaving on the finale yet. So, but we'll
I hope
see.
you're right. I hope you're right. I like Brother Alton.
Brother Alton need to drop a postcard at the airport.
Yes, yes.
I'm all for preserving life, however you do it. You know,
Yeah.
these people playing a very risky game. I mean, it's exciting to watch, but come on, folks.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I don't buy Franklin them going to war with Teddy and them, because I'm just like, who do they have besides Peaches and the nerdy guy from the hood and a few other folks? Like, we talking about the CIA. Like, who, like,
No, you're
is
not
Franklin
going
them
to
really
war.
going to war?
No.
I'm not buying it.
No, and knowing that they can't Diamond and the other girl, I can't think of her name, you can't
That's
trust them.
Dallas.
They're just going for the highest dollar. So they're gonna have to manage that situation because that's a problem.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
they gotta go. I think they gotta go to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed this episode. I'm sure it sounds like everybody else did too. I think this one might have been one of my favorites.
Yes.
So I just want to send a shout out to everyone that is watching us right now. Thank you so much for viewing, and please drop down in the comments and let us know what you thought about this episode as well. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you get alerted when we post every video that we come out with. We'll be reviewing a new show coming this week, so we'll have multiple shows running for once. So we're going to finish out the season finale of SnowFall, and we're picking up on The Godfather of Harlem. So that's another of our favorites that is coming back this Sunday. So we will be putting out videos probably Sunday evening for Godfather of Harlem. And guys, make sure you stay tuned for that one, because that's another good show that we really enjoy. Before we close out, do you guys want to add anything?
I do. I want to mention the fact that next week for the season finale, of course, the Spot will be doing our season finale recap, but also Ron and I will be going on another platform for the season finale, and that's Lamont Tyson's platform to discuss with them. I know a few of you guys as subscribers mentioned that we should collab, and we're all for collabing with other Black content creators. So look for that next week, guys.
That's dope. I'm very excited for next week. I can't wait. And I'm sure everybody else is excited and anticipation to see what's going to happen. So I think we have run our time out. Thanks again, everyone, for watching, and we're going to call it a night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.